guys, what is up? It is me, Rachel Victoria, and welcome back to a brand new episode. And today I'm so excited because today is story time. Yay, story time. Get that. So today's story time is my experience on the CW's Dynasty. And let's jump right into it to talk about Dynasty. So Dynasty is like literally my favorite show. It ended already. It's not currently filming anymore. I was an extra on Dynasty. That was my role, being an extra. So Dynasty filmed from 2016 all the way to 2022. That's when it wrapped. So sad, but it happened. And I'm gonna tell you how I got to be an extra on that show for like one episode. That's all I did. So anyway, so let's get into it, right? So Dynasty films used to film in Norcross, Georgia. I live in Miami. And I am in an agency. I'm still enrolled in an agency actually down in Georgia. And I really wanted to be badly on Dynasty, and I had spent numerous times trying to be on it. I submitted myself for a bunch of you know, for a bunch of roles. I even had called the agency a few times to be on that show, and they were like, "No, sorry, we're booked. We're booked. No more spaces. Spaces filled up." And I was like, "Well, this is disappointing." And I started losing hope until one magical night, it happened. I got a call that they were gonna do a cocktail scene, and that they needed, and they were still looking for people, and if I was interested, and I was like, yes, yes, I'm gonna be on the show badly. For those of you who don't know about Dynasty, it started Elizabeth Gillies, Grant Show, Sam Underwood, really cool people. It's about this billionaire family, the Carrington family, and they're just all there fighting for power and money. Pretty much that's it. That's just like the summary, and just doing evil stuff to gain power, and hiding secrets. That's it. But yeah, it's on Netflix for any of you guys that want to watch it. It's on Netflix, and the episode that I did, it's on Netflix too, if you want to watch it. If I believe it's season 3, episode 18, if I'm not mistaken, that's the episode that I did. So yeah. So on February 14th, 2020 was the day that I flew to Atlanta to be on Dynasty. So the next day, my call time in the acting industry, it's referred to as the time that I have to be on set. At the time you have to show up to work. So my call time was at 9 a.m. I booked my flight, and then I was so upset with myself because my flight had gotten delayed. So I had to call my agency and let them know that I was going to be late so they could let production know. And I was upset because I have never been late to set ever. It was my first time, and especially to Dynasty. Wow. So I went up to, so yeah. So when I got there, it was like 9 a.m. It was like 9 a.m. I got to not the studio, but I got to a location. I got in a van, and the van took us to the studio, and it was already late 9 a.m. by that time. So we got to Eagle Rock Studios, Atlanta. That's where Dynasty used to film. And yeah, and I was like, I came up with my luggage, and I was like, starstruck when I went into, the studio, the stage where Dynasty films, and I saw like the signs of where we had to go, and I was like, oh my God, this is so like, wow, I can't believe I'm here. And I got to see like so many settings, and I was like, oh my God, I see that on TV, I see it on TV. I just couldn't believe that I was there, right? So I went into the room where they had us. It wasn't really much of a room, but still. I went to the room where they had us. I sat down. So the thing is, when that agency books us for productions over there, we have to fill out this form because that's the way we got paid. So I'm sat down next to this guy. He's really nice, just super cool. We still talk to this day. He's like a big brother to me because when I met him, we created this brother sisterly type of friendship. So we still talk. Shout out to Jason Reinhardt. You are the shit because you're like a big brother. I love you. and thank you for like all the advice in the entertainment industry that he has given me too, because he's worked more than me. So I asked for a pen, and the pen started the whole friendship because I filled out my form, and then we just started talking. And he talked to me, about how he was on Insatiable, the TV show, and all these other shows at Ozark too. And quick fun fact, Ozark used to film in the stage right next to Dynasty, and he told me that. I was like, that's so cool. But yeah, so yeah, it was really cool. And then yeah, and then from there, they sent us up to wardrobe. And when I got to wardrobe, I was like, wow, this is so cool because I got to see, like, for example, Elizabeth Gillies. I got to see, like, they had a rack with her outfits with her character's name. Her character name is Fallon Carrington, so they had her character's name like right there with a picture of her, and then they had the other actors the same thing. And I was like, wow, it's shit. But I couldn't take pictures because Warner Brothers told us that if we take pictures, they were literally going to kick us off from set. So they had banned photos or videos being taken. That's the sad part. So production gave me this beautiful cocktail dress, strapless, black, white here with earrings. I went on to go change. They sent me to hair and makeup. My makeup artist, Gigi, she's a shit. Shout out to Gigi if you're watching. She was super nice. She was just like we kind of bonded a bit. She was so impressed that I had flown from Miami to be on Dynasty. She was like, wow, so cool. I told her how big of a Elizabeth Gillies fan is, and she was like, yeah, and she was like, yeah, that she hangs out with Ariana Grande and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, that's so cool. I told her that I was a huge fan of Sam Underwood. Sam Underwood was like a villain of Dynasty. He played Adam Carrington, but you can see Sam Underwood in the TV shows. He was on Dexter, The Following. Just check him out. I had a big crush on him back then. And I told her, and she was like, "Oh well, I'm gonna tell Sam that he has a fan on set, so he can take a picture with you." And I was like, "Yes." I was like so happy I was gonna meet my crush, my celebrity crush. Well, one of them. One of them. I did my hair, and I was like, I look gorgeous. And I can't take a picture, but I sneaked a picture in because I was like, I gotta look gorgeous. I gotta take a picture. I sneaked in a picture of myself. I went back to SIP. I kept talking to Jason. I met these other actors too, and we were just like, just all everybody talking, had a good time. They sent the overs to the set. Finally, we got there. I was like starstruck too when I saw like the Carrington Manor because I was like, wow, I just couldn't believe that I was there. I didn't take my phone because they didn't let us take our phones. We had to leave it in our backpacks or purse, whatever we came with. We had to leave it there. But it was like, wow, I was really starstruck. But yeah, and they told us where to be. It was like a lot. The director was looking to see what type of shot she wanted. They were setting up cameras, and then after they had everything, they sent us out to lunch. We catering came out. It was really cool. Then after we ate, they took us back inside, and then that's when they started filming. Elizabeth Gillies popped up. She's really gorgeous in person, really gorgeous. She's not really mean, but she came out like saying like, with that attitude, like I'm the boss attitude type of thing. That's the attitude that she had. So mad respect for her. And yeah, I did go up to her. I was gonna talk to her. Those were my intentions. Because the thing is, when that agency signs it up for productions, you can't ask them for pictures or video or like autographs to the actors, but you can talk to them as long as you're not going crazy. And I went up to her, but right before like I said hi, she literally walked away from me. And I was like, well, okay, okay, I guess no hi then. And then yeah, and then we were just there. She filmed her scene with Robert Christopher Riley. He was actually really funny too. He was making a lot of jokes. And then after she filmed like the scene with him, and if you guys don't know Elizabeth Gillies, she was on Victoria's Nickelodeon, so check it out. I think that's on Netflix too. But yeah, and then after that, they just sent us home. It was like around like 9 p.m. or something like that when they told us to go home. So that scene was like a 3-day filming. So they were like, okay, it was like on a Friday, Valentine. So then Saturday, Sunday, they don't film. Monday was like a holiday, so we didn't film, and then so I had to return back on Tuesday. So I spent the 3 days. I was a tourist in Georgia. I was a tourist in Norcross / Atlanta. You know, by the way, from like literally from the airport to the studio, it was like a literally 45-minute drive. It was like hectic. But yeah, I was like a tourist. I toured Georgia. It was so beautiful. I went to the Cartoon Network store. I went to the CN. I took a tour at CNN. I took a tour to the Fox Theater. That was so cool to know that they opened up in 1929 and they still had like original seats from 1929. And they were just talking about like the different type of plays that were there. And I was just like, this is so cool. The Fox Theater is like my favorite attraction that I went to. And I tried out new restaurants. I just had the time of my life. And then, yeah. And then after that, I went, yeah. And after those 3 days, I went back to set. It was back to set day. So my call time was at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. When I got to, when I got to the studio, I got to the studio at 4 a.m. exactly. I couldn't, nobody could eat breakfast until you had your hair and makeup done. So I went back to my makeup artist, Gigi. And Gigi was like, hey, so I told Sam that he had a fan on set. And I was like so excited because I thought I was going to get a picture with Sam Underwood. Did not turn out the way I wanted to because literally Sam said, I do know how to. He's like, oh no, Ian Creepers follow me here. And I was like, the disappointment, my heart like literally broke. And I was like sad, but I was like, you know what, that's life. It happens. Whatever you get up from rejection and you keep going. Sadly, I didn't say anything, but I was like, yeah, I would get that. And then yeah, and then I did my hair. Yeah, pretty much it. I didn't eat breakfast because everybody had eaten by the time I had done my hair because my hair did take a lot, like a lot of spray. It took a lot of time. So yeah, I sat down with Jason. We just had like coffee and muffin. That's pretty much it. And then we just kept talking, chilling. We talked to like other actors too. And then we finally went back to set. So on set, they gave us like these champagnes to like do a cheer. So it was like the scene was like a Bennett, like a cocktail, like it was with Crystal Carrington. That's the character's name, but her name in real life is Tanela Alonso. So she was creating like this beneficiary event, something like that for the veterans. And then yeah, Franco and Rachel, they were like the assistant productions, so they were in charge of the extras. So they told us right beforehand that the scenes that we were gonna film, and they filled us up about everything that was going on the show. So like I knew ahead it was gonna happen though, so that was cool to know too. They also like explained to like some terms too. It was really cool. So yeah, so when we got to set, like they gave us like champagne to like say cheers. It's really just water with food coloring. Jason and I tasted it. We took a sip. We're not supposed to, but we're like, you know what, fuck it, let's be like rebels. So we took a sip and it was just nasty. I do not recommend that. And then yeah, and then we just walked around like the Carrington Manor because we were like so bored and there wasn't really much to do. We were just walking around like just seeing like everything. Even though we couldn't take pictures, we couldn't take our phones, but it is what it is. And yeah, when we're just waiting in, Danielle Alonso came out. She's really pretty and she's so nice. Like she talked to a bunch of extras, not me though, because I was just walking around. But yeah, she talked to a bunch. Robert Christopher Riley came out too. I already had met him, but again, he was with his jokes. And then Sam Underwood comes out, and then I was like, oh my god, there's Sam! And I couldn't believe that I was meeting him. But then I remembered he rejected me, and I was like, oh no, but I got rejected by him. Um, and it was so funny because because the thing is that in the party they told us that we had to be a couple, like, so Jason and I, we were a couple, but he's like a brother to me in real life. Shout out to him. The thing is that Jason, he was chewing gum, and production was like, don't chew gum. And then it was funny because Sam Underwood went up to him and touched like his arm and said, um, that's building up character. And when Sam left, I literally told Jason, don't like wash your arm. Like Sam Underwood touched your arm, and he just started laughing. I have allergies. Excuse me, guys. So yeah, but it was really funny, and yeah, then you saw like the actors, Madison Brown too. She was there, and yeah, then you saw like the actors just practicing their lines. They were rehearsing it, and we were just kept walking around, just talking, chilling. No, not really much going on. And then all of a sudden, like they separated me from Jason because I'm short. Like I'm 5 feet tall, guys. I'm really short. And because I was short, they were like, "Oh, you're short. You're gonna be all the way in the front of Elizabeth Keeley's during the scene." And I was just like, "Yes, I'm gonna be like in the camera shot." And I'm like, finally, I like, because there are moments where I don't like being short, and there are moments where I do. But that moment, just loved being short. So they moved me up there. They separated me from Jason because Jason is like tall. He's like 6 feet tall. So they sent him all in the back. And then yeah. And then Sam Underwood came up to me and stood next to me while he was rehearsing his lines. And I was gonna talk to him, but like I froze and I was like, no, because he rejected me. So I'm not talking to you. And I didn't talk to him. And then he just like walked away and went to his mark. And then we filmed that scene like probably like more than 10 times. At one point, it was getting annoying because Elizabeth Gillies couldn't get her lines correctly. And then at one point, because she was frustrated and she was so hilarious, all of a sudden she screamed out, "Fuck me sideways." And we all started cracking up. But some people were like confused and were like, "What? Like, what does that even mean?" And other people were like, "That is so funny." Like, and like, she's really funny. Like, I'm not lying, she's really funny. She had like that boss attitude, but she's funny. And yeah, so that was really cool. And I just loved the dress she was wearing too. The thing is that Jason literally stepped on her dress when she had to like walk, and then she gave him like the bitch face, like the stink eye when he was stepping on her, and he immediately like let go, and she like pulled her dress and went like type of thing, and she went back to like to the scene to film, and I was laughing. I don't know. I find like her dresser so funny. Like she's funny. So yeah, that was a good moment. But we were there until like 10 p.m. filming. So imagine from 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. Oh my god. Because we were filming so much, they did give us pizza. Like that was like our snack time was pizza. They ordered pizza because we did have lunch from catering, but to the side they gave us pizza. Yeah, so that was cool. And they gave us donuts too. The hassle about my wardrobe, the malfunction that I had, was that this like it was this one that earring kept falling off every 5 minutes when we were not filming, and when we were filming, it just kept falling off all the time. It was just like, okay, this is like a hassle. What? Just like this is it's just all the time. And then when we're filming, you can see before we're filming though, um, hair and makeup is constantly there. So the amount of times that makeup would come to me to like put like some blush or something. At one point I liked it, but at some point it was kind of annoying because like everywhere we go, makeup would like, oh, hold up, you need blush on your face, and then hair too. And then at one point, then hair started coming in and spraying all over, and I was just like, great, it was great everywhere I would go. But not they weren't doing it just to me; they were doing it to all the extras. But there were some extras that they were doing specifically, and I was one of those specific, and I was just like, great. But yeah, um, but yeah, that was really much it from like yeah. Then I went. Oh, like another thing was that for the women that were wearing heels, when you're walking the noise, so like they put like a foam, they stick foam in our heels. It was like slippery. I almost slipped. I don't know. One time I almost slipped. Then the other times I got the hang of it, but my feet were dead at the end of the scene. Like, do you imagine 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. with heels, walking and standing? My feet were literally dead by the end of the summer. Then the next day, I had to be at 4 a.m. again, and the same thing. I couldn't eat breakfast until I did my hair and makeup, and when I came back, no food. I had to like do coffee and muffin. But the thing is, I was right in the front, so they told us if you were in the front, you don't have to work today. Leave, but we're still gonna pay you. But if you were in the back, you do have to stay and work. Since I was in the front, I didn't have to work, so I went to the airport. I was in the airport for like 7 hours. I did sign in. I did fill out my form to get paid, but that's all I did. I just showed up to do that, and that was it. And to do my hair and makeup for no reason. But I was in the airport for 7 hours. That was fun, waiting for my flight, and pretty much it. And that was my Dynasty experience, guys. It was really cool too. I was featured in the Dynasty's fan page, so that was cool too. So yeah, that was my experience. I hope you enjoyed the story time. If you want to catch me on Dynasty, I am on Netflix, season 3, episode 18. And if you just want to catch up on the show, it's on Netflix. So go on Netflix and go watch it. And if you guys want me to talk about experience on other TV shows that I've done and movies, I'm gonna keep doing that. That's really cool. I did want to get Jason on this episode, but I couldn't. So it sucks. So he could go more into detail about other things. But oh well. Let's see if I could get him in another episode. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. Have a nice day. And don't forget to subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and follow me on Instagram to Rachel_Victoria. So bye.